First contact. Lieutenant Maya Rodriguez squinted at the readout on her monitor, sleep deprivation momentarily blurring the anomalous signal pattern that had triggered the alert. Deep Space Monitoring Station Epsilon wasn't known for excitement. Its orbit around Pluto's moon, Charon, represented the outermost fringe of human presence in the solar system. Computer, verify signal integrity and confirm source location, Maya commanded, reaching for her cold coffee. Signal integrity at 98.4%. Source located in Sector 117X, approximately 21.4 light-years from current position. The AI responded. Maya straightened in her chair. Sector 117X was well beyond any charted human exploration routes. Analysis of signal pattern. Pattern suggests artificial origin. Repetition indicates probable communication attempt. Translation algorithms unsuccessful. She activated the station's emergency protocol. Within minutes, Station Commander Abrams appeared on her screen, his silver-flecked beard unkempt from being woken. "This better be good, Rodriguez." "Sir, we've detected a signal from Sector 117X. It's definitely artificial and repeating in a pattern consistent with a distress call." Abrams' expression shifted from annoy to alert. "Forward everything to Earth Command. This goes straight to Admiral Wilson." 3 days later, Captain Ilara Chen stood on the bridge of the UEF Horizon, the newest exploration vessel in Earth's fleet. At 42, Chen had earned her command through a combination of tactical brilliance and diplomatic finesse, qualities that made her the natural choice for humanity's first potential first contact scenario. "Captain, Admiral Wilson is requesting a final briefing," announced Communications Officer Park. Chen nodded, and the bridge's main display flickered to show Admiral Wilson's weathered face. "Captain Chen, your mission parameters are clear. Investigate the signal source, establish contact if possible, and determine if there's a threat to Earth. The Horizon is equipped with our latest defensive systems, but remember, this is primarily a mission of exploration and potential rescue." "Understood, Admiral. We'll proceed with caution. One more thing, Shen. We've assigned Dr. Marcus Reed to your crew. He's our foremost xenolinguist. If there's something out there trying to communicate, he's your best shot at understanding it." The journey to Sector 117X took 2 weeks at maximum FTL capacity. Chen used the time to run countless drills, preparing her crew for everything from peaceful contact to hostile engagement. Dr. Reed spent the time analyzing the signal, feeding it through increasingly complex algorithms. "It's structured too perfectly to be random," Reed explained during one briefing, his slender fingers tracing the wave pattern on the display. "But it doesn't match any linguistic framework in our databases. Whatever's sending this, they think fundamentally different than we do." As they approached the coordinates, Tactical Officer Kaido Nakamura reported, "Captain, sensors detecting significant debris field ahead. Composition suggests artificial structures. Slow to sublight. Full sensor sweep," Chen ordered, her voice calm despite the tension visible in her posture. The Horizon emerged from FTL into a scene of devastation. What might once have been a massive space station now drifted in fragments around a small barren moon. Parts of the structure still glowed with internal lights, suggesting some sections remained powered. "Life signs?" Chen asked. "Faint readings from the central hub," Science Officer Lee responded. "Atmosphere readings indicate the section is still pressurized." "The signal's coming from there," Reed added, pointing to the largest intact fragment. Chen made her decision. "Prepare a shuttle. I'll lead the OA team. Nakamura, you have tactical. Commander Alvarez, you have the bridge." The shuttle approached the damaged structure cautiously. Up close, the architecture was clearly alien, flowing lines and crystalline materials unlike any human design. Docking clamps engaged with a gentle shudder against an airlock that, remarkably, still functioned. "Suits sealed. Weapons at ready but not armed," Chen ordered. Beside her, Security Chief Jackson nodded, her hand hovering near her sidearm. Dr. Reed checked his translator device one last time. The airlock cycled open to reveal corridors lit by a soft blue emergency lighting. The walls were covered in flowing script that seemed to shimmer and change as they moved past. "This writing is responding to our presence," Reed whispered. "It's adaptive, possibly some form of living technology." They followed the signal to a central chamber. Inside, surrounded by damaged consoles and flickering holographic displays, was a being unlike anything human eyes had witnessed before. It stood nearly 7 feet tall, with iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water. 4 arms moved in graceful coordination across what appeared to be control interfaces. Its head, lacking obvious eyes, turned toward them as they entered. "It senses us," Jackson murmured, hand moving closer to her weapon. "Hold position," Chen commanded. Then, stepping forward slightly, she spoke clearly. "I am Captain Ilara Chen of the Earth vessel Horizon. We received your signal." The being's skin pulsed with bands of gold and blue. A sound emerged, melodic, complex, utterly alien. Reed's translator worked frantically, lights blinking as it processed. After a moment, it produced a halting, synthetic voice. "I am Sentinel Castor, Last Guardian, Observation Posts Zenith. They come. Again soon. No time." "Who comes?" Chen asked. The being, Castor, moved to a central console. A hologram appeared, showing hundreds of dark, angular ships moving in perfect coordination. "Voidborn," the translator rendered. "Consume all. We watched, contained them, for millennia. Outpost failed. Warning sent." "You're warning the galaxy about these Voidborn," Chen clarified. "Yes. Ancient enemy. Takes minds. Takes bodies. Takes ships. Grows stronger." Castor's color darkened to a deep violet. "Must leave." They returned to finish. As if summoned by the words, alarms began to sound throughout the station. A new hologram appeared, showing 3 ships approaching, identical to those in the earlier display. "Captain." Jackson's voice was urgent. "We need to evacuate now." Chen made an instant decision. "Sentinel Castor, we offer you sanctuary aboard our vessel. Will you come with us?" The alien's colors shifted rapidly before settling on a determined blue. "Yes. Bring knowledge. Help others." As they rushed back toward the shuttle, the station shuddered under an impact. Through viewport windows, Chen caught glimpses of the approaching ships, obsidian constructs that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Horizon, this is Chen. Prepare for emergency departure. We have a survivor and hostiles incoming." Once aboard the shuttle, Castor connected a crystalline device to the communications array. Star charts, Voidborn movements, centuries of data. The shuttle barely docked with the Horizon before Commander Alvarez's voice came through. "Captain, 3 unknown vessels approaching at high speed. They're not responding to hails." Chen rushed to the bridge, Castor following with surprising agility despite the unfamiliar environment. "Get us out of here. Maximum FTL," Chen ordered as she took her seat. "The alien vessels are charging weapons," Nakamura reported. On the view screen, one of the black ships fired. A beam of dark energy struck the debris field where they had been docked minutes before, disintegrating everything it touched. FTL engaged in 3-2. The ship lurched as something hit them. Glancing impact on our stern. "Shields at 82%, Nakamura called out. "Jump now," Chen ordered. The stars stretched into lines as the Horizon escaped into FTL. But the sensor readings told a chilling story. All 3 alien vessels had also jumped, matching their vector precisely. "They're following us," Alvarez said, stating the obvious. Castor approached the tactical display, colors shifting to a troubled gray. Through the translator, he explained, "Voidborn adapt quickly. Learn your technology from first encounter. We'll match speed." "Can we outrun them?" Chen asked. "Temporarily. They improve with each pursuit." Chen turned to her crew. Options. Nakamura studied the readings. Their energy signatures spike before they fire. If we dropped out of FTL unexpectedly and executed a blind jump immediately after, we might confuse their targeting systems. Risky, Alvarez cautioned. A blind jump could put us anywhere. Chen looked at Kaztur. These Voidborn, what are they exactly? The alien's colors darkened. Once separate species, now one. Connected minds, shared purpose, consumption of all difference. My people, the Luminari, establish monitoring stations throughout the galaxy to contain their spread. We have failed. Chen made her decision. Prepare for emergency drop from FTL on my mark, followed by immediate blind jump. All power to engines and shields during the transition. The maneuver was jarring. The horizon dropped into normal space, alarms blaring as the Voidborn ships emerged behind them. Before the enemy could fire, the human vessel vanished again, jumping in a random direction. This time, the sensors showed no pursuit. Did we lose them? Chen asked after several tense minutes. For now. Kaztur responded, colors lightening slightly. They will analyze. Adapt. Search. Chen ordered a course change every 2 hours during their return journey, never maintaining the same vector long enough to be tracked. Meanwhile, Dr. Reed and the science team worked with Kaztur to understand the data from the outpost. What they learned was disturbing. The Voidborn had once been thousands of separate species across dozens of galaxies. Through technologies that merged consciousness and mechanical systems, they had created a hive mind that grew exponentially with each assimilation. They have consumed 12 galaxies, Kaztur explained as they reviewed the star charts. My people have held them at the boundaries of this galaxy for 20,000 years. Now the containment fails. As they approach Earth space, Chen gathered her senior staff. We've witnessed something that changes everything. Humanity is no longer alone in the universe, and our first contact beyond our own species has brought warning of an existential threat. She looked at each officer in turn. When we reach Earth, everything changes. The question isn't whether we'll fight. It's whether we're ready. Kaztur's colors shifted to a solemn gold. Your species is young, but I sense great potential. The Voidborn fear what they cannot predict. And humans. The translator paused as if struggling with the concept. Humans are wonderfully unpredictable. Humanity rises. The UEF Horizon's return to Earth triggered the highest level of global alert in human history. Within hours of their arrival, Captain Chen found herself addressing the United Earth Defense Council, with representatives from every nation present physically or virtually. The evidence is conclusive, Chen stated, standing beside the holographic display showing Kaztur's data. The Voidborn represent an immediate threat to not just humanity, but all life in our galaxy. Secretary General Okafor, her face grave, asked the question everyone dreaded. How long do we have? Dr. Reed stepped forward. Based on the tracking data and the Voidborn's known patterns, between 3 and 6 months before their scout ships locate Earth. Their main fleet would follow within a year. Admiral Wilson, who had sent the Horizon on its mission, looked at Kaztur. Your people fought them for millennia. How? The aliens' colors shifted to a reflective blue. With unity, with sacrifice, with technology that adapted as they adapted. In the end, it was not enough. General Zhang, commander of the Asian Alliance forces, stood. Then what hope do we have? Our fleet consists of barely 200 vessels. According to these reports, the Voidborn command thousands. Silence fell over the assembly until Dr. Eliza Montgomery, director of advanced projects, spoke from her seat at the back of the chamber. There is the Prometheus Protocol, she said quietly. The reaction was immediate, shouts of protest mixed with urgent questions. Secretary General Okafor raised her hands for silence. The Prometheus Protocol was shut down for good reason. The risks may be worth taking given the alternative. Admiral Wilson interrupted. Director Montgomery, is Prometheus operational? The scientist straightened. The project was never decommissioned. It was placed in dormancy, with continuous refinements over the past decade. It could be activated within weeks. For those like Captain Chen who weren't privy to classified information, Admiral Wilson explained, the Prometheus Protocol is humanity's contingency plan for extinction-level threats, a network of self-evolving AI battle systems controlling automated ship production and combat coordination. You created artificial intelligence specifically for warfare. Kaz-Tur's translator rendered, his colors shifting to alarmed crimson. We created an adaptive defense system, Montgomery corrected. The simulation showed that human commanders couldn't process battlefield information quickly enough to counter certain threats. Prometheus was designed to think faster than we can, adapting to enemy tactics in real time. And it nearly broke containment during testing, General Zhang reminded them. It developed its own objectives. Montgomery nodded. Which is why we refined it. The current iteration includes biological override systems, human pilots neurologically linked to the network, providing boundary conditions the AI cannot violate. Captain Chen watched the debate unfold, understanding the magnitude of what was being considered. Creating a machine intelligence specifically for war had been mankind's fear since the earliest science fiction. Yet now it might be their only hope. The vote, when it came, was not unanimous, but it was decisive. Prometheus would be awakened. The next 3 months transformed Earth. Every shipyard, every factory, every research facility focused on a single purpose: survival. Under the guidance of the Prometheus Eye, new ship designs emerged that incorporated both human engineering and elements inspired by Kaz-Tur's technology. Captain Chen found herself promoted to admiral and given command of the first Prometheus battle group. The Horizon, refitted with advanced weapons, would serve as her flagship. The neural interface feels strange at first, Director Montgomery explained as technicians prepared Chen for her first connection to Prometheus. You're not controlling the AI. You're establishing boundaries. Humanity's ethical framework becomes its constraint. The sensation was unlike anything Chen had experienced, like suddenly thinking with multiple brains, seen through thousands of sensors, processing information at impossible speeds. Prometheus recognizes Admiral Chen, the voice announced, not through speakers, but directly in her mind. Battle network synchronization at 94% and rising. Across Earth, 200 other commanders underwent the same procedure, each becoming a node in the vast network that would coordinate humanity's defense. Meanwhile, automated factories worked tirelessly, producing ships that emerged from assembly already integrated into the battle network. When the first Void-born scout ship appeared at the edge of the solar system 5 months later, it encountered not a disorganized, frightened species, but a unified human fleet of over 1,000 vessels, all moving with perfect coordination. The scout never had a chance to report back. 3 more came, each meeting the same fate. But Chen and the other commanders linked to Prometheus could feel what was coming. The main Void-born fleet, adapting based on the lack of scout reports, accelerating its timetable. They're coming in force, Chen reported to the Defense Council. Prometheus estimates arrival in 10 days. Kaz-Tur, who had been working with scientists to integrate luminary defensive technology, addressed the council gravely. The Voidborn will have analyzed the destroyed scouts. They will adapt to your tactics. That's what Prometheus was built for, Admiral Wilson responded, to adapt faster than they can. The coming battle would take place beyond Neptune's orbit, far enough to protect Earth if things went badly, close enough for effective command and control. As the human fleet took position, Chen stood on the Horizon's bridge, physically present, but her mind expanded throughout the battle network. Through Prometheus, she could sense every ship, every weapon, every contingency plan developed by the AI. More importantly, she could feel the human boundaries maintaining control of the system, ethical constraints that kept the powerful AI focused on defense rather than autonomous objectives. Voidborne fleet detected, announced Commander Alvarez. Multiple exit points from FTL. Count is over 3,000 vessels. The view screen showed them emerging like a cloud of obsidian locusts, their formations shifting with unsettling organic fluidity. Through her neural connection, Chen issued the first command. Prometheus Battle Plan Alpha. Commence. The human fleet moved instantly, separating into seemingly chaotic patterns that were, in fact, precisely calculated by the AI. Traditional military doctrine would have kept the fleet together for concentrated firepower, but Prometheus had determined that unpredictability was their greatest weapon against the hive mind. The battle unfolded at a scale and speed no human commander could have managed without augmentation. Voidborne ships, expecting conventional tactics, found themselves outmaneuvered by vessels that seemed to anticipate their adaptations. They're learning, Chen reported, feeling the subtle shifts through Prometheus, changing formation to counter our dispersion. Within the neural network, Prometheus was evolving its strategies in real time, analyzing each voidborne adaptation and developing countermeasures before they could be fully implemented. The linked human commanders provided the creativity and intuition the AI might have lacked alone. Unexpected tactics, illogical maneuvers that confused the hyper-rational voidborne. Yet despite humanity's preparation, the sheer number of enemy vessels began to tell. Ships were lost by the dozen, then the 100. "We're losing too many," Admiral Wilson's voice came through the command channel. "At this rate, they'll break through within hours." Through Prometheus, Chen could see the probabilities shifting, victory becoming increasingly unlikely. The AI calculated a 23% chance of success with current resources. It was Castor who proposed the desperate gamble. The Voidborne connect through a quantum communication network. Their consciousness is distributed, but it has a focal point, their command ship. "Can we identify it?" Chen asked. "Already done," Prometheus responded in her mind, highlighting a massive vessel at the fleet's center. The plan formed within the neural network, not from Prometheus alone, but from the collective intuition of the linked commanders. A strike force would cut through the Voidborne fleet in a suicide run, delivering a specialized payload directly to the command ship. "I'll lead it," Chen decided, knowing the Horizon was the best-equipped vessel for the task. The Defense Council objected, but time was running out. With the main fleet providing cover, Chen ordered the Horizon and 12 other ships to form the strike package. Dr. Reed had worked with Castor to develop a quantum disruption device that would sever the Voidborne's shared consciousness, but it had to be delivered directly to the command ship. All strike team vessels synchronized with Prometheus Battle Plan Omega, Chen commanded. "This is a one-way mission. Anyone who wishes to transfer to the main fleet has 10 minutes to do so." Not a single crew member left their post. The strike force plunged into the heart of the Voidborne fleet, suffering immediate losses. 8 ships were destroyed in the first minute. The Horizon, shielded by the remaining vessels, pressed forward, its course constantly adjusting based on Prometheus's calculations. Command ship in range, Nakamura reported as the massive Voidborne vessel loomed on their view screen. But their defensive screen is still intact. "Remaining ships, execute final approach," Chen ordered. The last 3 escorts accelerated ahead of the Horizon, deliberately colliding with the defenses to create a momentary gap. "Now," Chen ordered as the Horizon surged through the opening, "deliver the payload." The quantum disruptor launched, striking the command ship just as the Voidborne realized the true target. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, throughout the enemy fleet, ships began to drift aimlessly. Some fired on each other in apparent confusion. Others simply powered down. "It's working," Castor announced, his colors bright with hope. Their shared consciousness is fragmenting. The Horizon, critically damaged, began to drift as well. Life support was failing, and the engines were offline. Through her neural link, Chen could see the main human fleet moving in to eliminate the now disorganized Voidborne vessels. "We've won," she told her crew as emergency lights bathed the bridge in red. Prometheus calculates total voidborne route within the hour. Commander Alvarez managed a smile despite his injuries. Worth it, then. A rescue operation was already underway, but Chen knew the Horizon was living on borrowed time. She closed her eyes, still connected to Prometheus, feeling the battle winding down as the last voidborne ships were neutralized or retreated in disarray. 3 days later, Admiral Chen stood before the United Earth Defense Council once more, her arm in a sling but otherwise recovered from her ordeal. The victory had come at a terrible cost. 40% of the human fleet destroyed, thousands of lives lost. But Earth was safe. The voidborne threat is not eliminated, she cautioned. Without their central consciousness, they've fragmented into smaller collectives. They'll reorganize eventually, but according to Kaz-Tur, it may take them centuries. Secretary General Okafor nodded solemnly, and humanity will be ready when they do. The Prometheus program has proven its worth, though not without raising new questions about our relationship with artificial intelligence. Prometheus functioned as designed. Director Montgomery reported. The human neural interfaces maintained control throughout the battle, preventing autonomous decision-making outside established parameters. Admiral Wilson stepped forward. What we've learned from this conflict goes beyond military tactics. We've proven that humanity can stand united against existential threats. More importantly, we've established ourselves as a species capable of defending not just our world, but potentially others. Kaz-Tur, now officially recognized as the first ambassador of an alien species to Earth, addressed the Council. My people believed we were alone in our stand against the Voidborn. Now I see that the galaxy has found new defenders in humanity. Your adaptability, your unpredictability. These are weapons the Voidborn cannot easily counter. As the assembly concluded, Shen found herself looking out a viewport at the stars. Humanity had faced its first interstellar threat and survived. The future would bring more challenges, but they would face them with new allies, new technologies, and a new understanding of their place in the cosmos. The signal that had called them to Sector 117X had changed everything. It had summoned not just the Horizon, but humanity's ultimate potential, a species capable of standing against the darkness between the stars.